Friday the 22nd of May, you'll wake up convinced that the cryptic error message on your laptop is actually a secret code. Brenda needs those quarterly reports, but Mercury is in retrograde, or something. Enjoy explaining to Marcus how error 404, sanity not found, justifies your lack of progress, absolutely no refunds. By lunchtime, you'll have dramatically unsubscribed from Priya's newsletter. Mars is in a mood and turning every email into a passive-aggressive symposium on communal biscuit consumption. Your Doomscope vegetable today is an overripe mango making passive-aggressive smells, slightly less self-aware than you during a team meeting. Tonight, rather than cooking, you'll be constructing a majestic sofa throne from abandoned online shopping parcels and half-eaten packets of crisps. You'll then spend a solid hour doom scrolling TikTok, certain you could become an overnight sensation if only you possess the discipline to actually film anything. Narrator, you won't. Netflix asks, are you still watching? Darling, you're practically fused to the sofa. This escapism has long passed cheeky series binge territory. You're now arguing with the algorithm. Advice, multitasking 37 tasks. Smash one out, then have a nap. Friday the 22nd of May is here to greet you like a damp bank holiday. This morning, finding a comfortable position on the sofa will be harder than Phil understanding why you need a new biscuit tin. Prepare for an epic quest. You will prevail, probably by just building a nest of cushions. Work rears its ugly head around 2:47 p.m. when Karen asks if you filed that TPS report. Don't panic. Pretend you're on a very important call, to yourself, about the importance of biscuits. Mars retrograde is doing its best, bless it. You'll suddenly crave the estate agent's stale biscuits, again. This evening, any plans to cook have been dramatically cancelled due to sheer inertia. Your impulse control has gone walkabout. Expect a takeaway pizza the size of a small wheelbarrow to arrive around 8:17 p.m. You'll settle in for a marathon rewatch of Bridgerton, loudly judging their choice of throw cushions, whilst wearing the same tracksuit bottoms you've had since 2024. The stars are judging you too. Don't forget the snacks, you'll need them to shout at the telly. Advice, resist buying a weighted blanket, for now. The sofa legs are already creaking, Taurus. Friday the 22nd of May. Morning starts with Sharon's croissant looking suspiciously like the one you brought in. You'll spend the next hour performing a forensic analysis, meticulously licking it to determine if it's definitely hers. Darren will be riveted. Your Doomscope animal today is a ferret with commitment issues, more flighty than your attention span during Nadine's PowerPoint presentation. Lunchtime sees your brain running on fumes. You'll try to contribute to the Ricky-Jason tie debate, but you'll end up describing Jason's tie as that thing, you know, the one, on his neck. By 2:47 p.m., Mars retrograde is personally victimizing your inbox. 63 unread emails and 14 draft replies are glaring accusingly. Time for a tea break. Tonight you promise yourself a sensible evening. This quickly escalates into a full-blown karaoke night dedicated to sea shanties, starring your goldfish Kevin. The invitations, naturally, are going out via Chirpster. By 11:53 p.m., you'll be standing in front of the fridge in your dressing gown, wondering if cold Brussels sprouts are a viable late-night snack. Advice, step away from the Chirpster. And for the love of Kevin, order a takeaway. Friday, May 22nd dawns with the subtle promise of self-sabotage. By 7:14 a.m. you'll be conducting an archaeological dig in the fridge, convinced the last custard tart is buried beneath the hummus. Linda hid it, didn't she? This afternoon, Mercury is doing the tango, backwards, on your deadlines. That spreadsheet you swore was finished. Pauline just pinged, it wasn't. Prepare for a meeting where you'll silently judge Derek's choice of novelty mug, while contemplating the existential dread of shared office biscuits. Lovely. Tonight, maximum concern, you'll order a pizza with extra everything, then weep openly at a repeat of Bake Off where someone's spotted dick is suspiciously perfect. This inevitably leads to drafting a strongly worded, yet ultimately unsent, email to just eat about the existential emptiness of late-night garlic bread. Before falling down a YouTube rabbit hole of loft conversion ideas, spending precisely £0, you'll spontaneously write a haiku about your neighbor's budgie, despite being violently allergic to birds. Advice, stop romanticizing the past. Your golden days involved leg warmers and questionable perms. This Friday, you've been outside for precisely 38 minutes, Leo. Honestly, love, commit. Your Doomscope animal is a minotaur lost in its own maze, more dramatic than a toddler who dropped their ice cream. This morning, prepare for an inbox that resembles the queue for the post office on pension day. Mars retrograde means you accidentally replied all to Dave's leaving collection email saying is that all? Venus is currently experiencing stage fright, so expect maybe one lukewarm like on your perfectly filtered 11's photo. Focus. Forget about it. You started writing that report approximately 12 times, each attempt ending with you googling can I get away with writing this whole thing in emojis? Claudia asked if you were alright. You replied born to be mild. Tonight, things escalate. It begins with just one episode of that naff property show and ends with you online shopping for a bread maker. Leo, your Deliveroo history is more embarrassing than your secondary school photo. Jordan just muted you on WhatsApp. Advice, stop posing. The recycling bin doesn't care about your angles. This Friday, Virgo, the universe suggests a fresh start. It lies. That pigeon attack at precisely 7:23 a.m.? Nigel's briefcase will be splattered with more than lukewarm coffee. Think pigeon vindaloo. At work, Venus isn't just throwing shade, she's hired a spotlight and is performing a full-blown shadow puppet show with Janet's emails as the script. Passive-aggressive barely covers it. At 3:17 p.m., Sheila's presentation font size tweakery becomes performance art. Then, the company spreadsheet reveals Graham's accounting acrobatics, and your silent scream registers on the Richter scale. Tonight, elaborate plans to cook vanish faster than a free biscuit in Roger's presence. The sofa calls with a show so dire it's strangely hypnotic. This then involves you live tweeting using only advanced Excel functions because, well, why not? Before you know it, you're color-coding your sock drawer by thread count. This somehow feels productive. Your dating profile update includes a full SWOT analysis of potential matches. You've also discovered what Diane has been up to, nothing good. Advice: step away from the spreadsheets and remember irony is best served warm. Friday the 22nd of May begins with a rude awakening, mainly because you convinced yourself 6 a.m. yoga was a brilliant idea at 11 p.m. Your Doomscope animal today is a walrus who peaked in their 20s, still painstakingly curating their MySpace profile. Mars retrograde is personally victimizing your inbox, specifically Adele's request to circulate her gluten-free banana bread recipe. Tracy has now emailed asking for feedback on printer paper weight. Connor is backing her up with, I don't mind, the absolute wrongun. You'll spend the next 3 hours delicately suggesting 80 GSM while somehow agreeing with both. This evening. Right. You were going to pop to that tapas place you've been banging on about for weeks. Except, Mel wants to compare the latest artisan crisp flavors, Hugo's downloaded a spreadsheet of local deals, and Sebastian is demonstrating optimal wine aeration techniques. Eventually, you'll order cheesy chips. From the kebab van. Alone. You'll call it supporting local businesses, but it's really just succumbing to the path of least resistance with added chili sauce. Advice: just pick a bloomin' restaurant. You've spent longer deciding what to order than it would take to cook the entire menu. Friday the 22nd of May promises a morning of high drama. You'll leave the house determined to conquer the day. 15 minutes later, you'll be wrestling a rogue umbrella while simultaneously trying to pay for parking with a defunct chip and pin. Your commute will resemble an Olympic sport only with more tutting. Mars retrograde is currently using your inbox as its personal playground. Keith will forward you a link you opened last Tuesday, asking have you seen this? Victoria will politely suggest decluttering your desk. Again. By lunchtime, you'll have spent longer looking for your stapler than actually using it. Tonight, Venus is judging your choice of evening entertainment. The algorithm, convinced you're a shut-in, recommends documentaries about basket weaving. Instead, you will order enough pizza to feed a small family and settle down with that documentary about the world's biggest stamp collection. And you'll watch it all. The cosmos has observed your life choices. It has concerns. By evening, even Saturn is watching your choices like a neighbor twitching the curtains. Advice: embrace the chaos. It's cheaper than therapy. Friday the 22nd of May. Sagittarius, that motivational water bottle? Bless. Mars retrograde is still making Trevor's Out of Office your favorite daily read. Your Doomscope animal today is a place who's out of place, blunter than your attempts at workplace small talk. Around lunchtime, one innocent Facebook memory of that Ibiza uncovered holiday will lead you down a rabbit hole, and suddenly you're on Etsy, bulk buying friendship bracelets. This afternoon, you'll somehow end up volunteering to organize Zara's surprise birthday picnic, despite your last culinary creation being flagged as a potential biohazard at the school bake sale. You also just accidentally liked Ollie's LinkedIn post about synergy, and now you're going to have to pretend you understand what he does. This evening, prepare for a domestic situation of epic proportions. What began as a simple attempt to put up some fairy lights will, at precisely 8:17 p.m., culminate in you attempting to fashion a fishing net out of old net curtains to rescue next door's cat from the shed roof. Advice: never trust a social media algorithm or your own impulsiveness. The cosmos suggests cancelling all plans and having a brew. Your morning unfolds like trying to wrestle a duvet into its cover. The bus on Friday the 22nd of May must have thought it was auditioning for Ben-Hur, splattering your tepid coffee down Kenneth's new beige strides. Lovely, you muttered. Mars retrograde is taking a personal swipe at your inbox. Zero dreams. That urgent email from Maureen? Turns out she just wanted to know if you'd seen her novelty pencil sharpener. Your deadline looms, yet you're inexplicably alphabetizing your post-it notes by color and vibrancy. Tonight, you'd planned a relaxing bath bomb fiesta. Instead, at precisely 9:57 p.m. you'll be meticulously decanting spices into matching killer jars, then Googling how to switch off for a solid 47 minutes. This will be immediately followed by designing the perfect ergonomic workspace, including custom keyboard wrist support. Before waking up in a cold sweat, muttering about Q3 forecasts. Your idea of Netflix and chill is a documentary about the Toyota production line. The stars are judging. Advice: stop trying to plan spontaneity, you're doomed to overthink it. The start of Friday finds you, Aquarius, attempting to find matching Tupperware lids. It's a noble quest, doomed to failure. Your sock drawer is organized by thread count while you're 5 minutes late and wearing odd shoes. Your Doomoscope animal today is a lemur who's seen things, like you trying to wing it during the village fate cake baking competition. Mars retrograde is personally victimizing your inbox. Kevin emails a spreadsheet titled Fun Budget 2024. Your response, you accidentally reply all with a GIF of a confused cat. Astrid asks for feedback on her PowerPoint. You zone out mid-sentence, mentally debating whether Inz's new fringe is too short. Astrid thinks you're contemplating the meaning of life. Result. Tonight, you're flat, a gigantic bowl of cheesy pasta, because, let's be honest, it's easier than cheese sculpting, and that true crime documentary you've been meaning to watch. Venus is on strike. Expect dreams where you're teaching a squirrel how to parallel park. Advice. Remember that time you tried to iron a shirt while wearing it? Yeah, that's your energy. Maybe just order takeaway. Today, Friday the 22nd of May, Pisces, keep your peepers peeled, but don't actually look at anyone. You'll accidentally eavesdrop on Elaine slagging off Gary's new haircut, then spend the morning convinced you need a fringe. Mercury's having a laugh at your expense. You'll get on the wrong bus with such conviction the driver will just assume there's been a route change, ending up at the garden center. This afternoon, your biggest win will be limiting your biscuit intake to just 4 before 3 p.m. And Felix will ask about that deadline. Nod slowly, tell him you love his shoes, then feign a sudden coughing fit. No further explanation required. Your to-do list is currently buried under a pile of motivational books you haven't opened. Evening finds you horizontal, contemplating the physics of remote control distance. The takeaway driver knows you by name. That's fine. I'm basically paying his mortgage at this point. Your emotional support houseplant is giving you the side eye. Remind it that it's only alive because you water it. You'll waste precisely 47 minutes watching cat videos before accidentally dozing off during a baking competition. Advice. The early bird catches the worm. You prefer a lie-in.